Hi, welcome. So, thank you for being here. We're going to do a reading, and I have no idea what's going to happen. I sort of feel like I was sitting here, sort of having a moment of just tapping in to say, like, what's here right now. And the answer was a this new, I've never felt this before, tingling vibration that was happening kind of right in this area in the middle of my face. I was like, whatever that means. So I was like, okay, so I'll tell you about it. I also am experimenting with blocks of time in my schedule as a recovering workaholic. I'm trying to be better at creating space and reclaiming the traditional work week where I can, because I think about work week and I'm like I said before, like, what is that? I can make it whatever I want. So this week I had some pockets open, and so since nobody booked them, I went ahead and gobbled them up for myself, and because next week's insanity with Thanksgiving and we'll be all over the place. So I'm like, well, that's about perfect. Thank you, universe. This week feels a little more spacious. So it's probably no wonder I'm like sitting here going, what's here? And it's just stillness. And I'm like, oh, good. Yeah, it's working. Creating space. So instead of at the studio, I'm here with all my other babies. And I thought, oh, I guess who we don't get to play with much. You may not like these, but I like them. These are storytelling cards. Dixit adventure card. I forget how they're categorized, but usually I'll just come in here and shuffle them up a bit. There are so many, and I hope there's still some I've never even seen before. Okay. I don't think I've seen this one before. We have this. Just gonna pull a few to get started. I don't think I've seen that one before. I love these, like the feather and leaf imagery here so far, and the writing imagery. And I haven't seen this one before. Okay. We're just going to start with 3, because I like the number 3. And then what I'd like to do with these guys, these are the Cosmic Slumber Tarot, and see what an overall energy is. Because there's something here about man, it feels like something about seeing like the peace and beauty. I don't know why those words are coming through with those images, but there's something about kind of the difference between, not the difference between, but how like seeing this is, it almost it's calling for like a shift in perspective, like a lot of readings do, but then we dig into like what kind of shift in perspective. This feels like a shift in maybe where we put ourselves in different situations in order to see things from a different view, and maybe having to let go of the like old way of seeing things, doing things, of being. And so that's from a very high level. There's a lot more like coming with all of those images, but before I go off the rails, I want to anchor it back to what the cards say for an overall energy, and then go back to those visuals and see if we can tease out any more nuance. So I heard my neighbor's dogs. We have the 8 of Wands crossed by the Devil. Well, interesting. This is I'm going to take a moment because the Eight of Wands it's like a quick energy, like there's an energy in your life ready to move in a certain direction. It's almost like if you've felt scattered before, there's something that says, go in this direction. Okay, so that could be like my attention and my perspectives, or whatever you want to call that, has been like diluted in a lot of different areas. Like maybe I'm juggling a lot of things, maybe I'm contemplating a lot of different things, and something says now is the time where all of that energy that has been consumed to fuel all these many things is now, it can be diverted into like just and coalesced into one direction, which is pretty powerful when you think about it, right? Because we feel, speaking for myself, like if I've done a lot of different things, it might feel good for my checklist, but energetically I'm like, I need to take some time, because what's happening underneath all the dopamine hits of the checklist, like I did this and this and this and this and this, is like it might be diverting you from where your passion really lies, because the wands are like inspired, passionate, like creative energy, where it's like, well, where does your real interests lie? And what if you gathered up all of the energy across all of those little things and put them in one direction? So I wonder if this has to do with like you're at a point in life where you're just ready to, something's telling you, calling you from inside to say, come on, let's go already. And the devil here is in the challenge area saying, yeah, but I have these habits and these other things that I do as forms of distraction. And then we have to dig into why. Why are those there? What can we learn from them in order to know how to release them and let them go, so that they no longer have a hold on us? Because the devil is all about keeping us kind of in chains, if you want to be dramatic, to kind of what's stealing our energy, because we're not ready to face something perhaps, or we're not ready to really go for it, right? So this feels like an energy of going for it, but we'll see. And so this, what's coming here is like, there's an image of this peacock. Peacock, is that the right word? I'm having a hot flash too. Plus, but I'm not going to take off my Mr. Rogers sweater because I'll just get cold again. Sorry for my interlude. I know, I have so many hot flashes on this thing. You should be used to it by now. But this looks like the peacock is a Ferris wheel. And I don't know, are there people up there? It looks like there are, maybe? But those don't look like people. There's no people up in those little baskets. But it's like, what does that mean? Like, what does that make you think of? That's why I thought that's super beautiful, and taking a higher view gives you a different perspective. So that's like maybe finding the beauty in something versus wherever you don't see beauty. And that's kind of how I feel about this guy too, sitting on the end of a gun with all of these doves coming in, and doves are a symbol for peace. And there's flowers in his own gun. Like, it's almost like he's been put in a situation that he doesn't want to be in, but in his heart, all he sees is beauty. That's the way he wants to be. But something in his life, circumstances, are he's feeling forced in a direction he doesn't want to go. Okay, so this almost feels like the Eight of Torches, the Eight of Wands, saying, you know what direction you want to go in, and you have all the energy to do it, but something here is keeping you from that. Whether it's other people putting you in that, it's usually our own self putting us in a situation. We just might feel obligated to other people that keep us in a situation. So that one definitely ties to the overall energy, kind of very literally. And then right here in the center, there's a letter that has a hole burned in the center, and there's like a flower coming through the hole. So I don't know if there were maybe words that were said that were harmful, and it's almost like you're trying to either let that go and see the beauty of the situation. There's something almost like burning away what was said, what was written, maybe an old way of thinking, so that the beauty can come through. So that's why I said like peace and beauty is here, a shift in perspective in some way, and then trying to get all of your energy dedicated and going in the direction you really want to go. Okay, so those are the overall themes so far. Okay, let's see. I don't know why I keep doing this one kind of spread. I just really, really like it. And I've taken like a year to play around with all kinds of different spreads, as you know. And I wouldn't even call them spreads. I guess you're spreading out cards, but there's no like plan when I go into these things. Let's see what wants to happen today, because I was just going to lay out a few cards. But today I want to do 4. Here we go. So we have the 2 of Wands. I'll tell you what that means. You've got the 8 of Wands again. Hello. I love when we get confirmation that this is exactly what this is about. We have the Star and the Hanged Man. What? You guys have 3 major arcana out of 6 cards. That's pretty cool. And then overall energy at the bottom is the 7 of Pentacles. This is interesting when you've got that. So first, when we have like wanting to go in the direction that really inspires you, right? You want to put all of your energy in one direction. And I say one direction, but it could be like, you might have a couple things you want to do. It doesn't matter. It's not just all one thing. I'm just saying it's like scattered energy or distractions are ready to be released so that you can go do the thing, right, that you feel called to do. So that you're inspired to do, because really there's inspiration energy here, and it feels like you have the best intentions with this loving heart, this beautiful vision. You don't want to be doing things that don't add beauty to the world, that you don't want to do anything that doesn't perpetuate like peace in the world. So something here is asking for a shift, either in just doing, like aligning action with beliefs, action, like the outer world and inner world are asking to be aligned, because it also feels like that inner world is like burning through the outer world. It's like coming into being, right? So it feels like taking that whole higher beautiful perspective and really making it a reality. So there's something in you that feels like you want to do something beautiful in the world, not just whatever you've been doing or whatever you've not been doing out of fear, or just keep distractions are kind of easier. It's hard to get a little uncomfortable and put yourself out there. Maybe that's what that's really about. Feels like a putting yourself out there kind of energy. So, because look, this guy's like going out on the end of a gun. I just didn't think about that till now, but it's like, it is a little scary. It's almost like, I don't like to use war metaphors, but like putting yourself out there kind of has this feeling of going to the front line. So it's like, I have no more protection, right? So when you're out there, it feels like, oh man, I'm going to be judged, I'm going to be criticized, whatever. And maybe you're right, or maybe you can take this literally if you feel like you've been wanting to share something in writing with the world, or self-expression in a general sense. And it feels like you have a beautiful message to share, and people, people need to hear it. It just spreads beauty and peace. Okay, so enough of that. I just wanted to get all the words out. The 7 of Pentacles overall energy is one of like, you've been just sort of like doing daily life, and now you're looking back at it and saying like, but what have I really done? It's not amounting to what I really want to do. Okay, so you've come so far, you're doing good things in the world, if you want to call it that. You're maybe taking care of your family, taking care of yourself, doing daily life, whatever your daily life entails. And then you're like, yeah, but it's just freaking daily life. It's just like the things we do to stay alive and keep afloat and go one day into the next. You know, it just feels like routine kind of energy with the Seven of Wands, or Seven of Pentacles. And something once you are ready to shift into that wand energy, you've been in this pentacle energy of like, okay, daily life, whatever. And now it's like, yeah, but I want to light a fire. That wands are fire energy. Okay, so our story arc here is Two of Wands, Eight of Wands, the Star, the Hanged Man. Okay, so the Two of Wands is literally looking out. Actually, I don't even need to hold these up. You can see these pretty well. By the way, they're very shiny. They have like a fake gold, like shimmery aspect to them. Okay, so the Two of Wands is funny because it's wand energy. So it's that being on the precipice of you hear the call and you're like, I love when that happens in a reading, because literally we're hearing a reading because you've come here maybe for some reason to get inspired or to get permission to do the thing. I don't know. Like when people are ready for a reading, it's like, I love what comes up is usually that here. I love when this comes up because the Two of Wands is like, something's calling you. And it's funny because like literally you're watching a tarot reading, right? And usually that's a moment where either we just do it for fun or we're seeking clarity or we're trying, you know, because tarot really just reveals to you what you already know. It just brings it maybe more to the surface. Or you, like we wait, like when I watch tarot, it's like I wait for something that really resonates and there's usually a readiness for it. The Two of Wands is about being just about ready to take that leap, to get, and the flavor of that leap is, it's like, well, you hear the call and something says you need to get a little uncomfortable. I know you've heard me say that before. It is scary being out front of it all, being out there at the end of the barrel. Something feels in this reading in your situation, whatever it is, something feels a little scary to you. It might even feel like harmful, kind of scary. Like, can I recover from whatever's going to come of this? But you don't have to worry. There's so many reasons you don't have to worry. And this says it's okay, take the leap, because now it's, like I said, the Eight of Wands is about, there's like a quickness. Once you leap, there's going to be a swiftness to this, putting all of your energy in that direction. You're going to release these devil shackles, the self-sabotaging thoughts and negative self-talk and self-criticism and all that stuff is going to start to release once you finally leap. And maybe that's a little bit part of the uncomfortable part, because even our negative habits, thoughts, behaviors, whatever, are still the devil we know, and it's what we've been doing. We know what to expect, and it's like, it's just whatever we do to distract from what we really feel like we should be doing. It's the devil we know, and to release that devil we know, it can feel very scary. Again, it's the unknown. That's all it is. It's just the unknown. And this says something's going to happen for you in a very positive, big way. Very quickly, it leads you right to the Star energy, which is wish fulfillment. That's literally the meaning of the card. If there was ever a common meaning for a card, I believe the Star would be wish fulfillment. So this says, go ahead and be scared, whatever. Your wishes are going to come true once you make that leap. You're going there. You're doing the thing. And the Star is one of, it's not just something, especially we know from this, like your heart is in the right place. Your intentions are in the right place. And what does that mean? It just means like you're on a mission to do something good in the world, right? That's what you desire. You don't maybe even know what form it's going to take, but the the desire is there, and that's what's really important. So that's why this is taking you from like, just freaking make the leap already. We know it's scary. Things are meant to be scary, and that's okay, because things are going to take off once you do, straight toward the fulfillment of what you've been wishing for. And this takes a flavor of you aren't doing this just for yourself. So that's back to the intentions. It's about being a vessel for giving the gift of whatever's inside of you freely to those in the world or those around you. So it's something that says, I'm going to do this not just for myself. Yeah, it's for myself so that I can do what I've been wanting to do, whatever that is, but it's going to be a gift for other people too. And that in itself is going to be like that engine that keeps refueling itself so that you don't get depleted. That energy still feels like it's here. I feel like maybe either you're the same person watching all these, just kidding, or like there's maybe this might be, I like layers. So, or thinking of things in layers. So if I think about because you can scale anything up or down, right? Think of physics and all of that, right? So there's like, once you zoom into something, you can keep finding more and more detail, or you can zoom out and see across everything and connect the dots. And what seem to be disparate things have a lot of commonalities. Like the micro is the macro, the macro is the micro, and all that jazz that I love to think about. So if we were going to zoom out to think about this as like humanity's story, doesn't it feel true that we're kind of getting a little disenchanted is the word. Disenchanted with the way things have always been done, and at least in our Western culture, and it's spread to the Eastern cultures too probably, but this idea that I go to school for a certain number of years, I get a certain level of job that my family expects, or whatever, wherever those expectations come from, I do something, and I do it in a certain way because it's kind of assumed I'm going to do it that way based on my conditioning. And then I do that for a while, and maybe I'm now supposed to be in a relationship. Maybe I'm supposed to pop out some kids. so romantic the way I put things. Whatever that, and I say it in those ways because we might feel a little disenchanted or disillusioned by the story, the script we've been sold, and generation after generation, and it slowly wakes up a little at a time. And I say wake up as in like, wait, the waking up is the questioning. And that's all it is. Like, can something else be here? I didn't come to this earth just to do what's always been done. What is the point of that? Where's the excitement in that? You don't want to throw everything away because there's beauty in tradition, right? Of carrying something forward. And there's beauty in dreaming up something new. Because we are creative species. So when I zoom out, I also think like, dang, this feels like kind of a collective energy of, it almost feels like archetypal too, where we have our normal world. If you think of Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey, we have the normal world, right? The devil, whatever we've been doing, we do our thing. And then there's that call to adventure that's like what we've talked about. And then finally I cross the threshold. I go through a lot of stuff, which is like into shadow world and really looking inside, which might be part of this because the star also has that element of like healing energy. There's a healing that happens in order for the wish to become fulfilled. And that's the hero's journey too. He goes through all this stuff and he brings back the gifts. his own healing, and he shares that with the world. Whatever that treasure or gift or award he has been trying to find on that journey, going through adversity and turmoil and all the things, all these struggles and challenges, and comes back to his normal world that he left, but he's changed and he's brought back his gifts to share with everyone. Right? So I probably didn't do Joseph Campbell justice, but that's the general gist. That's the archetypal. If you scale it up, that's the whole journey that the humanity resonates with. It's literally in like every movie, every good movie. Oh my God, I was thinking about that this morning, because I was thinking about like when you, if you just share a punchline or like the ending to something, and then this happened, and then you just leave it and move on, it feels like something in us is like, where's that little, what do they call it? The denouement, or is that the peak? I forget. There's a word that describes, there's like the climax, but then there's the resolution, like basically integrating that climax peak experience into regular life. And without that, I feel like there's something in us that resonates with, that's wrong. There's something about if we don't take time to integrate some experience into our regular way of being, it feels wrong. And so that's a human thing, and I don't know where it comes from. It'd be fun to think about. I'm getting kind of emotional. That feels like a big part of this story, because here at the end, the Hanged Man is gaining that shift in perspective. It's not just the climax experience of the wish fulfillment. That's not the end of the story here. I'm getting all the chills. The Hanged Man is like the integration of that into daily life that brings about the shift in perspective. And sometimes that's not all bells and whistles and sexy and like things you write home to mom about. I don't know why I said that, or whoever you would write. Nobody writes anymore. I don't know. But it's like that. The peak experience is what we're used to shout, like in modern day, it's like sharing on social media. My peak experience. Here's the thing. Let's celebrate that. And then we never get a follow-up to say, and then what happened? How'd that work out? And now how do you take that back to everyday humdrum life and weave it in? Because we're meant to keep going. We're meant to keep going. And it doesn't have to look like the way it's always looked, but something integrated back into our lives can change it in some beautiful way. So that, yeah, we keep our tradition, we keep that sense of routine and like community and doing things for each other. And it's just grounded daily living. So we have to integrate those peak experiences. So I don't know why all that's coming up. I don't know if who that's meant for. It's not for me to know. But it feels like some deep fundamental truth that I feel like if we think about scaling it up again, I feel like it might be a common truth that after these last 20 years of being on the internet, right, where everything's fresh and new and everything's so possible, and now we have AI and we're sending rockets. I don't even know what's all happening. I'm just saying there's a lot, and it feels like a lot, and it feels like all new, to the point where we're like, I maybe want to get grounded back into my boring life. I don't know. But like we're constantly on this high of wish fulfillment, of peak experience, like over and over. I feel like some part of us is aching and yearning just to be a little boring again, like, and it's not really aching for that. I think it's trying to really integrate how are we integrating all of that back into our daily life so that we do feel grounded and that we're able to take it in a little bit at a time and not feel like all or nothing, like it's all new and I'm on the edge of everything new and I'm throwing away all the tradition, things we've traditionally valued as humans. I don't know. Or it's like I'm scared and I just want to stay in my safe and happy place. I don't want to do anything new. I'm over it. So there's something here that feels like we've got to keep integrating where we can. So that's scaled up to a big level, to a broad like trajectory of maybe this century. I don't know. But something feels true in that. For me anyway, that's like, yeah, but maybe I do want to integrate the fresh and newness. I do want some of that. I don't want all of it. And there seems to be a level of discernment here with the hanged man. Like something's asking for discernment in maybe how to, like, whatever this path you're shifting toward that's going to get a little uncomfortable. It's not about just that thing you've been wishing for. It's also that there's a yearning to, this is so hard to talk about, like to put words to, because I feel like I want a real example from your life to make it make sense. I guess I could give an example from my life. What would that be? Oh, I do have good examples. But I might bring it up later. So there's something here because it's such a human need to have that. I think it's called denouement, right? It's a French word that means like the resolution. Like there's the climax. Something's asking for resolution, a gentle landing and integration back into how we go forward from here. You can't, because like peak experience, all those like big things in life, it's too much to keep leaping. There's like, we can't sustain that. There's like rest. There's integration. All of that is part of this story here today. So I'm going to push pause and change my laundry over. Be right back. I'm back. So my laundry wasn't ready to change over, but I had to restart my drying. I know, you don't need to know all that. But I got to keep the laundry train moving. So when I got back, what screamed out to me was the Mystical Shaman Oracle. So what I want to do is create some space from all that I just riffed about, because something was telling me to do all that I just did, right? Because it feels, some of these things feel bigger. I don't know why. Again, it's not, I feel more and more like it's not for me to know why, but something was like, no, go beyond. It felt like trajectory type stuff, like where are we headed as a, like, what are we ready for as humanity in 2025? And I think the reason that's coming through, chills started to start when I had a thought about the last 5 years since COVID, and a lot of people talk about it because COVID was such a shake-up moment. I feel like, why are my sounds on? I'm sorry, guys. Oh, I know why I had them on. Let me turn them off. I have I was waiting on somebody to get back to me, and now they already have. So what I would like from COVID, it was such a shakeup, right? We don't have to go there, you know. And so it feels like hold on, because the thought I was having at the moment the chills came in was like 2020, 2025, these 5 years, something is definitely, something's happened in these 5 years where I feel like we've been like, whoosh, like, oh, and we're all like, okay, what has that meant? And we're all in different timelines and trajectories. I want to say we're all in different like speeds in how we're waking up, how we're starting to question. I'm taking it back to that whole questioning. And that was when I got the chills, like questioning the way things have always been done. Okay. So these 5 years have been like if you were to scale it down in time, like the 5 years, if you condense it to if you think of time as like one day in the life, if you shrink it, the 5 years we've just been through is like the split few seconds when you first wake up in the morning. I don't know why that came to me, but it's like 5 years is like these 5 years since COVID is the first few seconds in the morning, but you're like in a different room and you're kind of like, where am I? I don't know why that visual came to me. And then it's like, oh, well, if I'm in this different room and I've woken up in some other life, I've spent those first few seconds just sort of being like, maybe a little freaked out, maybe a little excited, ooh, something new, maybe a little like, what the heck happened? How did I get here? You know, we all have our different ways of processing because we've all have different lives and different constitutions. So it's like, then these next, like what feels about is like the next period of time is like, okay, wherever you are in your little wake up journey, from the way things have always been done to what's truly calling you, is like, and now how do we step forward? So something here feels like, how do we loosen what's been holding us chained to that old way of doing things? Because something here right out of the gate is saying, and the overall energy of Seven of Pentacles is like, you're a little disillusioned, disenchanted, dissatisfied. So that's really the call to action, is like that, saying like, well, I've woken up. I'm ready to get all my energy going toward what really matters to me. And now what? So let's get a message from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. The Crow, number 13. Okay, let's read this. I know I love doing things in different order than I would typically do them, because we're waking up. Okay, the Crow. This says the essence. Crow is the keeper of universal law, the law of truth. Crow teaches us to walk our talk, to find congruence between who we say we are and who we really know ourselves to be. Didn't I say like the inner and outer, like that congruence? I love that word. That's not the word I use, but I like that one better. The winged one insists that we speak truth, that we create truth instead of searching for it, and that we bring truth to every situation we find ourselves in. The invitation. When you speak the truth and practice truth, eventually everything you say becomes true. Your power to co-create with the truth is the universal law. Correct what is untrue in your life without judgment. Let the truth set you free. The medicine. Be true to your word. Crow arrives just as we have convinced ourselves that what we are doing is right and justified. And while this may be the case in the realm of relative truth, in the higher realm of absolute truth, it is not. Look deeply into your heart and remain alert, lest you convince yourself of something that isn't deeply true for you, or perhaps it is not the highest truth. Do not seduce yourself with illusions. Oh my God. I was just thinking back to these images, like look deeply in your heart and remain alert lest you convince yourself something that isn't deeply true for you, or perhaps it is not the highest truth. And think about those higher perspectives, the truth for you, because he's obviously in a situation that feels untrue for him, because his truth is beauty and peace, and he's here at the end of a barrel. And this is like truth, like relative versus absolute truth. So the relative world being this scroll of paper, and the absolute truth just burning through. Of course, I can tie anything together with it. I just, because I love doing that, but it feels really, really real, really true. So this is like, because when you, or this here, the Hanged Man is the card that usually says you are ready for that shift in perspective, like seeing the truth. And it might feel like both of these cards are about getting uncomfortable to bring about that shift. Okay, bringing about the shift of like, it's time to get out of my comfort zone and put myself out there, like out in the world. Let's see how he's like behind his little castle wall, looking out there saying, I want to go out, but man, it's really far down there. And this guy's all bound up, trying to contort himself to see things from a different view. So that's kind of our message. What is your truth? That is such a big topic. And I loved when it talked about absolute versus relative, because something here, when we scale up, there's a journey that's like the humanity journey, or even soul level journey of absolute truth. And then how do we keep anchoring that back down into the relative world? Because we're here in human bodies living out a life, right? Now that we've done that, these keep calling to me. This is the Wild Unknown Tarot. So what do we want to know? I'm curious about so many things. I think I want to know a little, what's coming to me is like breaking these down. How do we move from one phase to the next in this story arc? So moving from the Two of Wands to the Eight of Wands, what do I need to contemplate or like think about, reflect on, or understand, watch out for when I'm moving out of my comfort zone in order to put myself out there? That keeps coming to me, like the putting myself out there. This feels like, because if this is a story of doing things one way, things the way they've always been done, and you're thinking of doing something in a different way or something totally new, it can be scary. So let's clarify what we need to know. We have the Six of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Sun, which is the Knight of Swords. Oh my God. This is like, I say that because these two cards are like the fastest energy that I kind of think about. I think of them as the fastest energy in tarot. So something says, whatever this shift is, it's going to be really quickly. It's going to be a really quickly shift. The Wheel of Fortune is one that like, nothing's going to change unless you do something different, right? There's like, insanity is expecting something to change when you keep doing the same thing, right? So this is like, time keeps going. Things keep happening. Nothing is waiting for you. Nothing's waiting for you. And the universe doesn't play favorites, meaning it's not just like treating you as a special little snowflake that's like, oh, when are you going to be ready? Oh, let me put everything on hold for you. It sounds harsh, but it's true, right? And that should feel not disempowering. It should feel very empowering. Like you have all the ability to jump on that Wheel of Fortune and go. And it says, when you do, watch out, because everything is super, super fast and successful. Like this is crazy how this is coming about, because it's like, once you make that commitment, it feels like a commitment to do the thing. Everything's just fast forward from there. Because here it's felt like drudgery. The Seven of Pentacles is like looking back and being like, man, is that all I've done with my life? And this feels like universe has, like, the universe is gonna keep letting you do this. Like, I want to say it doesn't care a little bit. It just doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't care. It just doesn't play favorites. And aren't you glad for that? Might seem like it if you're into comparative stuff, like looking out there and saying, why do they have it all? Well, you gotta look inside and let go of what's keeping you held back, this devil energy. But the Six of Wands is one of success and recognition. So something here feels like you're doing something where you're going to be recognized. You're going to, like, it's confirmation of that energy of putting yourself out there. And it's like, are you wanting to be in front of people? Are you wanting to express yourself in a new way? That the current constellation of people around you might feel like, what are you doing? But that's okay. Are those the people that you want or need around you? Because this wheel keeps turning, and it's like, I loved the word constellation when it came in. I don't know if I've ever used that in a reading, and I don't use it in real life, so it seems relevant that, like, when you, and the star energy, like the stars, so when you shake things up, you think about the way things turn, and the constellations are always moving through the sky, and it's like, well, what configuration of stars, what constellation is now going to move in and be what lights up my sky? It might be a totally new tribe of people around you, and that's fine. That's fine. So don't worry about what other people think. First of all, it feels like that kind of energy of, like, that whole, like, how am I if I'm putting myself out there, it usually means like something is going to come out of me. It's a form of expression and putting myself out there, whether it's like in a new job where I'm now more in the public eye, or I'm now I have more responsibility, but some responsibility that you deeply care about and are ready for. Well, that's amazing to, like, own it. And so, yeah, it can be scary, but it's like, don't worry about what people think, because your heart's in the right place and everything's going to come from that, right? And people are going to see that if you care what they think. So this says, don't hide in your safe spot because you're waiting for some big sign from the universe, because the universe is like, dude, I'm working over here with these people who are putting themselves out there, and I'm going to keep lighting up the path in front of them. I don't have time. Show me you care. Show me you're ready. Take a step. That's what the universe is saying. You take one step, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, they're ready. Now they're going to work with you. I feel like that's such a fundamental truth. It's like, don't wait for signs. The signs come after you take the first step. The sign doesn't come saying, now it's time to take the first step. No, I swear that's not how it works. Maybe it does, and I just want it not to be that way. I don't know. I don't think it does. So how do we get from the Eight of Wands? Let's say we are now in the mode of putting ourselves out there. We've taken that step, and how do we go over that chasm because it's like something says it's going to happen really fast. How do we, and maybe there's some clarity that will be gained along the way. So this says, don't worry about the clarity first, like the sign from the universe. Don't worry about that first. Take the leap and go for it. The clarity will come, meaning you don't have to have the whole path figured out. So what I'm curious about is, how do we stay aligned? What do we need to think about when we're in the mode of, like, man, my washing machine is dramatic. Did you hear that? What do we need to be aware of when we're going from, like, okay, I'm moving out there, and then how do I make this the wish, like, get to the climax of whatever I'm doing? What should I be aware of? So we have the Mother of... This is the Queen of Pentacles, but I was reading the Mother of Potatoes. And that is not a tarot card. It just isn't. This is the Queen of Pentacles, Mother of Pentacles. The Seven of Swords is here. Oh, Nelly. And the Ace of Pentacles. Ooh, you know what's, this is not what I expected. I didn't actually expect anything. Never know what to expect. I'm trying to figure out how I want to get some room here. There. So with, first of all, when I say it's not what I expected, literally the Seven of Swords is like that. Things aren't what they seem energy. Okay? And so when we think about this whole, the Ace of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, there's something like the Ace being like, okay, you've taken the first step and things are going to move something says things are moving quickly. What may not, like the deceptive or things may not be what they seem energy is like going from A to Z 100 miles an hour. It's like, no, what's coming here is slow is fast. How does that, that's actually a saying, isn't it? Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. That's what this is saying. It's not just like you'd take one step and things just happen, like get to the finish line. Like you're gonna have to put in all the effort, right? You're doing this thing because you want to nurture it. It's something you deeply care about. But something's saying, don't just rush through it. This is something like to cherish the journey, and in order for it to be as successful as it can be, and knowing that you can't be rushing through it, it's saying slow is smooth. So you want a smooth ride, go slowly, because slow is smooth. Because when you go over bumps really fast, you know, it's like that kind of energy. Slow is smooth, where you just sort of go over the bump and your suspension just like pretty smooth. And then by being smooth, that's actually fast. Because if you're going just ramrodding over a bunch of bumps, like it's actually a slower journey, right? But if you're just sort of like skipping a rock across the water. So keep that in mind with this. Your heart's in the right place, meaning you do want to nurture something from step one to the fulfillment, the fullest expression of that thing, nurturing it to the fullest of what it could be. The nurturing card is here. The deceptive part is that things might look like they're moving quickly, but slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So try to enjoy that journey and go slowly. You have all the power to take it at the speed you want. So I don't know, what are you working on? Because let's say you were thinking of, I don't know, kind of wondering, like, are you thinking of, I'll go back to the writing analogy because there's a scroll here and it's something about expressing yourself, putting yourself out there. So are you thinking of writing something or sharing something maybe in a written format, and you feel like, I just want to get it done, I want to get it out there, it's like ripping off the Band-Aid, and something says, well, take the leap. It doesn't mean you have to share your first draft, okay? Maybe you share it with one person or an editor or whatever. This is just a silly analogy. Because if you were to just blah, 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 a first draft and post it for the world to see, and now you think that that's doing the hard thing and having that peak experience of wish fulfillment. No, it could be so much more than that if you go slowly and smoothly, and that takes you to the peak experience of like making it the best. You're nurturing something to the fullest expression of what it could be. So it could be one of the best things you've ever written, and instead of people going like, that is gibberish, that doesn't make sense, I don't get it, okay, on to the next thing, people actually stop and like really dig into what you've written. It resonates with them because you've taken the time, you've slowed down that journey, and you've enjoyed putting it together step by step and editing it perhaps step by step, which is not a fun process, is it? A lot of times. But you could have it, you could have fun in the process. You could make it what. So writing is just one analogy, but whatever that is, that's all I got to say about it. So how do we get from the star, so now we've nurtured the thing, to it's like, yes, what happens after that? What are we meant to learn from it in order to bring it back into our daily life so that we do keep harvesting, we do keep sowing our seeds? This is like that metaphor of the pentacles. He has a hoe in his hands and he's pausing to be like, I've been working so hard and what have I built? Well, now you've built the thing, and we want to move forward from the Seven of Pentacles and kind of take pride in what we've done and maybe have gratitude for what we were able to share, because this is about sharing something beautiful and sharing your heart with people, yourself with people. So what are we supposed to learn from that peak experience to integrate it back into daily life for that perspective shift? And like, what is that perspective shift? So we have the Empress, the Queen of Swords. Interesting. I did use the word discernment earlier. And the World. What? Mic drop. Oh my God. Okay. The reason that got me so excited is like the World being like the end of the major arcana, as in like the hero returns home. It's like the full circle moment, the completion of a journey. I'm getting all the chills because it's like literally, if you were to marry up tarot with the hero's journey, the World, you've come back to the ordinary world, but you've returned with gifts to share. This is like the completion of a cycle. It's success. It's all of that we talked about. The Empress on the other side of this is like this energy of having, like, she is ready to give birth. Like it's like this birthing energy and this mothering energy, because usually she's characterized as somebody like a pregnant woman in tarot, because it's about the way that divine feminine energy creates. It's like of herself. So there's something you truly are, the gift you're giving the world, whatever you're doing. Let's just say you've now birthed this thing and it's a gift to the world, and now you feel like what the clarity, like the shift in perspective you've gained is one of discernment, which is interesting because I wonder, like, what was your perspective before? What does discernment mean to you? Because it's just too big of a word. It's like, and I wonder if it has to do, where my eyes fell was the crow, with the truth. Because usually, yeah, I mean, like, what I'm curious about now is understanding more about where did you feel like that disillusionment, that disenchantment kind of makes us wonder, like, what even is my North Star? What am I doing? Why am I here? Because this feels like you may not even know what it is you're meant to be doing, but it's something that involves putting yourself out there. And maybe some of you do know what you're supposed to be doing and just haven't done it. But this also feels definitely like you may not even know what it looks like, but you're meant to be like putting yourself out there to share yourself. And I want to say your gifts, but that's kind of a cliche thing. Like, we hear that a lot. Share your gifts with the world. Well, what are they? I don't know. And there does feel like some of that here, but it also feels like, what is your truth? What truth are you being asked to share? And so this, what you've learned is, whatever you're doing, it isn't just about the thing you're doing, but you're discovering what your truth is in the process and discerning how it's meant to be shared going forward. That feels like the whole story right there. And I'm really curious. I really want to know, what are you doing? Because I'm a curious person. I want to know what you're doing and see if this is even relevant. because this feels like such a big, like I said, it feels like the hero's journey. And what you've gained is the ability to discern truth and discern maybe how it needs to be shared with people. And I wonder if that's why slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Because there's still something there. There's a there. Yeah, I wish you would just talk to me. Why aren't you talking to me? I just want to know what you're doing. This feels so big that it could apply to any single person. You read, and that's all tarot does. Like I said, you read into it for your own life. I wonder what it is for me. I think I know. I actually know that I know. But what I'm really wondering is if I'm still right here, where is this taking me? And like, what's coming to me is this necklace is on backwards. What's coming to me is what I said before. When you take a step and the universe says, finally, you took the step. Now we're going to walk alongside each other. And now I'm showing you some signs. Be on the lookout for it. Right? So you don't have to get all woo-woo with that or esoteric. You could just be like, now that I have purchased a red car, now all I see are red cars on the freeway. It's that sort of energy, right? I've taken the step. And now I'm on the lookout for all the things that can help me on my journey. That's all that means. It's like I am attuned, right? So I feel like there's a disease we have as humans, and it's like, I gotta know the end game. I gotta know. No. I gotta know where I'm going, what it's supposed to look like, why the hell I'm doing it. Like, I feel like it's a disease. It's an epidemic. I said that about something else in another reading, but this feels like one of our biggest traps. And this deceptive energy came up. Both of the biggest cards about self-deception came up in this reading. So I don't want to gloss over that. And I feel like it's one of like, I gotta know. Oh my God, yesterday we just talked about getting comfortable with not knowing. I feel like that's still here. What I'm finding, and it could just be me making it happen, but is like whenever I back up, I'm sensing like there's like this energy with the readings, especially now that I'm kind of doing them last couple weeks more frequently. It feels like this energy. Does that make sense? Where like we're revisiting some things and moving forward, but incorporating it. Like it feels like integration, but it feels like a continuity of story arc that we're going through. And these are the themes. This whole idea that I gotta know, but no, you've got to get comfortable not knowing. All you have to do is take one step and look for the signs, then follow that step and look for the signs. And then what we build through that process, these things will naturally unfold. The shifts in perspective will happen. The discernment of truth will happen. It's not a to Z, boom, quick journey. Like, enjoy the journey of take the step, look for the signs. So I'm just going to end there because I felt like we needed a denouement to this reading. Like we hit the climax, the World card and the Empress, and then it's like, but I don't feel complete yet. So thank you for coming along on this journey. Oh my God, we went over an hour. Sorry. I hope you watch this at double speed. Too late, I know. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate you, and all the best on whatever the heck you're working on. And I wish you would just tell me already. Bye.